Hello, welcome back to another segment in excerpts from a Spiritual Ascension. So, if you've been following along, I've been talking about this member of my family who I had stayed with for about 2.5 years during my journey, the very beginning of my journey. And because I had such a deep love for this person, um, it was hard for me to recognize who they truly were to me. And who they truly were a karmic soulmate. And in that way, everything that happened between us was messy. And there was a great love there, okay, but because it was a family member, but it was extremely difficult, this relationship. And I think I ended up being there for longer probably than necessary because I was not wanting to recognize who this person was to me. And until I finally did that about 2 years in, of being with this kind of like the universe forcing you, like locking the door um, to a room, and you and that person like have to like get it together until the door is unlocked. And I was kind of locked into that situation for 2.5 years until I recognized around 2 years that this was a karmic relationship for me and that this person was never going to bring any good to my life. When I finally recognized that, it was time for me to now say goodbye. And I think a couple weeks ago, I did a video on stating that this person had emailed me after 3 years of no contact. Um, when I left her house, she'd even try to like seek me out to see if I was all right or what happened. I left and there was nothing else after that. So now 3 years later, I got an email about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, excuse me, and she kind of said that she was now in therapy and um, understood why she had kind of blamed things on me, that it wasn't me, and so forth and so on, and wanted to reunite the relationship. I had worked through my feelings for the 2.5 years after that, after I left, and had realized that who this person was to me and that they were never going to benefit my life in any way. And the way that they had treated me was so vile and so evil that my accepting them back into my life was only downplaying the growth that I had already started to have within myself, doing my shadow work, right? Going through these dark nights of the soul in order to understand what my soul was trying to tell me. And even though I kept getting these um, kind of hints from not only spirit, but also my own internal soul saying that you need to leave this person alone. Um, as a family member, I had kept going back and helping this person, even though they had treated me in this way. So when after these 2.5 years of finally understanding who this person was and that I never wanted to have anything to do with this person ever again, when I saw that email, a lot of times, like, it's like, I'm not even going to read it. But you know what? there was something within me knowing that I had done so much growth within my own self. I had built up my self-worth, and that there was nothing um, that was going to interfere with me um, continuing to develop my own sovereignty. So I read the email, and that's when she said, oh, I'm in therapy, and like, are we ever going to talk, as family members and stuff like that? And I read it, and surprisingly, I was surprised. I felt nothing. There was nothing there, and I deleted the email and I blocked her. And for the next couple of days, of course, there was thoughts came up. Nothing about ever saying, should I reach out? Is there something, like that? Nothing like that. Just kind of remembering what this person had put me through. So that's why I'm saying that as hard as it may be, when the universe is trying to say it's time for you to cut someone out of your life, to cut the cords with someone, even if it is a family member, as hard as that's going to be, that you need to close that door. Especially if we're talking about a karmic soulmate, that once you cut that off, right, that karma has ended now for you. They're going to have to deal with their own karma because of the way they treated you. But if you were to allow that door to reopen in any way, you're allowing that karma to come back. And in this lifetime, since you've chosen this path, you are removing all karma from your life. So if you open that door, that karma is gonna flood back in, and you're going to have to redo that karma again. So that's how important it is for you to keep that door closed. Okay. Free will. I'm not telling you what to do. The thing is, there's people who are such manipulators who know how to pull our heartstrings in a way that we say, well, maybe they've changed, or maybe, um, something's happened that we need for them to. If this person hasn't needed me for the last 3 years, they never needed me. Even as much as I gave to them, oh, you have no idea. The money, the thousands of dollars that I spent on this person, trying to make this person happy, with only receiving evil in return. Now, having set those boundaries, right, with this particular person, because I was kind of raised in a way that I became a people pleaser. Um, Throughout this process of my ascension journey, I had to learn how to set boundaries, and I never knew how to do that. And the thing was, the funny thing is, when because I had never set boundaries before, and then people would say, well, let's do this. We're going to do it this way. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it that way. And they would kind of look at me like, who does she think she is? Like, she has never stood up for herself. She has never set any boundaries. Like, all of a sudden, and then they know how to them, manipulate the situation to say, oh, okay, so she thinks that she's going to set a boundary with me. So we'll act like she thinks she's going to, but somehow I don't have this kind of mind to do this, but somehow it ends up being the opposite way, or I end up feeling guilty that I have set that boundary. And then I give in. And I'm like, okay, whatever you want to do. If you want to do it this way, we'll do it this way. You want to meet this time, we'll meet this time. And the person ends up saying, she'll never set a boundary with me because I, in a sense, have control over her and our situation, whatever that relationship that may be. So now coming into my next life, right? I'm starting to enjoy my second life within this one lifetime. All those people are gone from my life, the ones I couldn't set boundaries with. So now the new soulmates coming in. I'm allowed to, not allowed, I shouldn't say that. I know now how to set boundaries right from the start and to say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. If you want to come into my life, be a part of my life, um, this is what I expect, and this is what I don't want, and this is what I'll do, and this is what I won't do. And when people know your boundaries up front, I had to learn this. You probably may already know this. Um, Set your boundaries up front in a relationship. People are going to respect them. I think there was always also something about the religion that I was brought up in is being taught always to respect my elders, no matter who they were, even my older sisters. Um, because they were older than me, I had a great respect for them, even though they didn't respect me at all. So I allowed them to treat me any way that they wanted to because I grew up with this thing of I have to respect my elders in a way. So it doesn't matter as I've grown now and of a certain age, I realize that I still have respect for my elders, yes, but I have more respect for myself. And I know my self-worth and what I'll allow and what I will not allow. And it's important for me, myself, to stick with those boundaries and still have respect and speak in a respectful way, but not allow anyone to cross those lines. Okay. Hopefully, all that makes sense to you and just helping you to understand if you are on your journey, you're going through some kind of severe change or setting boundaries or dealing with a karmic soulmate, that you're going to get to the other side of understanding the reasons why. Okay. Going to leave it there. If you would like to spend time with me talking about your own journey, would like a reading, I am a certified psychic through the Edgar Cayce Center of New York. There is a link to book time with me. I've also done several courses on the ascension process, and you can also find that link below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.